This video is about the project of MLOps, operationalizing ML in Microsoft Azure, and it is part of MLE with Microsoft Azure Nano Degree of Udacity. I will explain you all the steps in this project. Here we can see all the steps where we are deploying the best model that we get from the AutoML experiment, and then we are enabling logging and Swagger documentation to see the Swagger documentation to see how we can consume this endpoint, and then we create and publish a pipeline as well. So let's quickly jump into the AutoML experiment. Here we can see our experiment and the job that runs AutoML, and we can see this configuration here because this was generated through the module that is provided by Azure. We will have to see the document configuration here. We see the configurations of this experiment, and then we can see the best model that it provides based on the bank marketing data, which we can also see in the assets of this workspace. It is registered there first, and then we ran this experiment. We then see the best model that it provides, which is voting ensemble model, and we can see that this model is also registered and deployed. We can see the deployment here, the register model here and the deployment here, and we can see that we have the REST endpoint available and Swagger URI, which provides us with the JSON file of the how to consume the endpoint. We can quickly see into the project that we have to deploy the best model and enable loggings. First, let's go into enabling the logs first. So here we can see that we can access the web service that we just deployed by the name, and then we enable the app insights and create the logs, and here we can see the logs. When we ran this script, we can get all the logs of the web service, and we can see if there is any issues. Second thing is then how to consume the endpoint, and for that we have our Swagger UI container, Swagger server container running, and then we run this UI service, and we can see based on this JSON how to consume this score API endpoint of our web service. We can also have a better look at here of this deploy one service that we deployed, and how to add the what are the inputs and how to what will we get as the output of this service. We'll quickly go into the next thing, which is running this endpoint. And when we run this endpoint using the REST endpoint that was provided, and providing the two data input data points, we can quickly see what is the result that we get through this API, and this is the server running for the Swagger. We also run a benchmark based on Apache benchmark, and we can see that this sends a lot of requests to the server, and none of the requests are failing. And we can also see this through our app insights, where if you look into a little bit earlier, there is a spike which says that benchmarking was run here. And the next thing here, if we look into the project, we have enabling log and consuming endpoint, and then publishing the pipeline. So we can see when we look into our pipeline notebook, we can see we are importing the libraries and configuring our workspace, and to run to create a pipeline which runs this AutoML steps. Therefore, we first enable our cluster and data, and then we go into the setup of Azure ML config, which is then passed into Azure ML step of the pipeline. But first, we also tell the pipeline what we want as the output, which is metrics data for all the runs, and best model data. And when we submit this experiment, we get the information from run widget and run ID here as well, we can see, which we'll use to publish this. pipeline, we see that we have all the metrics available for all the runs, and then we also get the best model available here. After that, we simply publish our pipeline based on the run. We take the pipeline and publish it, and we pass this into the published run endpoint. We call this endpoint, and then our pipeline is published.